to SL Baina English. I am Sumalata, JMS High School Architecture. If you like my videos, please like it, share it and subscribe it. Okay. Hello, today we are going to learn the lesson environment. This is the interview with Wangari Maathai, who is environmental activist, Nobel Prize winner. Okay, let's start the lesson. Wangari Maathai started the Green Belt movement and also fought for equal rights for women in Africa. She is the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Start the lesson. Wangari Maathai started the Green Belt movement and also fought for equal rights for women in Africa. She is the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Read the excerpts from her interview with Nippon Hoso Kyokai, NHK Radio Japan, 2004, December 19. She started Green Belt movement and fought for equal rights for women in Africa. She, who is the first African woman, got Nobel Prize. This is the interview with NHK Radio Japan. Question from NHK Radio. How did you become aware of the environment? Wangari Maathai, from the time we started, we were trying to respond to the basic needs of people in the rural areas, and people were asking for clean drinking water, for food, for energy, which is mostly firewood, for building material, for fodder for the animals. And all these come from the land. So we knew that what the people from the rural areas were asking for had to do with the environment. They didn't have those things because the environment was degraded. So from the very beginning we understood that we have to rehabilitate the environment. The forested mountains were the source of water and the source of rain. So, when you deforest, you cause a shortage of water and a change of rainfall patterns, and therefore people are not able to get food and water. Therefore, in order for them to have good environment that can sustain their livelihoods, it is important to have a government that accounts to them, that protects them, that protects their interests, that is concerned about their lives. NHK Radio asked how did she know about the environment. The NHK Radio asked how did she know about the environment. She replied that from the beginning, when they were trying to respond to the basic needs of rural people, they came to know about all that is related to environment. The environment quality is reduced, and so only they were not getting their basic needs. They came to know that they must restore environment. When we deforest, that is, when we cut trees, there will be shortage of rain, and so there will be shortage of food and water. So there will be government which is concerned about their lives. First question and the answer for it from Wangari Maathai. From NHK Radio, how is peace connected to a good environment? Wangari Maathai, many wars that are fought in the world are fought over natural resources. Some wars are fought because the environment is so degraded that it is not able to support communities, and so they fight over the little that is left. Others are fought because Some people want to take a lot of resources to control them and to keep many other people out. Whether this happens at the national level or at the regional level or even at the global level, sooner or later there is discontent, and when that discontent is strong enough, there is conflict. So, good management of the natural resources, equitable distribution of these resources is important for peace. At the same time, good management of the natural resources is not possible if you do not have democratic space, respect for human beings, respect for human rights, giving other people dignity. That is why the three themes are related, like the African stool with three legs and the basin on which you sit. The three legs, one leg is peace, the other leg is good governance, the third leg is sustainable management of resources. When you have those three legs, now you can put the basin, which is development. And if you try to balance that stool without those three, it won't happen. We have not shared our resources equitably. We have allowed some people, especially those in power, to acquire a lot at the expense of the majority, and we have also engaged in conflict. HK Radio asked, how is peace connected to a good government? When NHK Radio asked, how is peace connected to a good environment, she replied that many wars are fought for the resources only. The environment was degraded, and for the left only there were wars. Some people wanted to take more resources and wanted to control over many other people. There is dissatisfaction, and so only there are conflicts. When there is good management of resources, equitable distribution of resources, then only there will be peace. It happens only when there is democratic space, respect for human beings and human rights. That is why three themes are related, like African stool with three legs and the basin on which you sit. One leg is peace, the other leg is good government, third leg is sustainable management of resources. When you have those three legs only, you can get the basin, which is development. Peace, good government, sustainable management of resources are the three legs. When there is the balance of legs only, development will happen. We have not shared our resources equitably. We have allowed some people take the power. We are engaged in conflicts. When we follow the three themes only, the development will happen. NHK Radio, what was the environment like when you were young, and how did you go about saving it? Wangari Maathai, when I was a child, which is almost more than 50 years ago, the environment was very pristine, very beautiful and very green. We were a British colony, and the British government at that time started to cut the indigenous forests in our forested mountains because they wanted to establish commercial plantations of exotic species of trees such as the pines from the northern hemisphere and eucalyptus from Australia. These trees were nice, they grow tall and they grow very fast, but as they grow, they destroy all the local biological city, all the flora and fauna disappeared. So although we were getting commercial timber for the growing timber industry, we also destroyed our local flora and fauna. As a result, these forests, which were the water towers, were no longer able to contain the water. So when the rains fell, the water ran downstream and ended up in the lakes and oceans instead of going down into the underground reservoir, so that it could come back to us in the form of rivers. One thing we noted is that not only did the rain patterns change, became less, but also the rivers started drying up. We lost our local biological diversity, so that is a lot of damage to our environment. You asked Wangari Maathai about the environment when she was young and how she was saving it. She replied that when she was young, the environment was very beautiful, but at that time, exotic plants are planted for the commercial purposes. They grow tall and destroyed the biological diversity. All the greenery and flowering plants disappeared. As a result, the forests, which were called as water towers, were not able to contain water. Rainwater did not go into the underground, and rivers are no longer filled, and also the rivers dried up. 1975, at the very first United Nations Conference for Women in Mexico, many of the women were saying, we need food, we need water, we need clean drinking water, we need fodder for our animals. And I was wondering what has happened. These are things that were there 20 years ago when I was a child. The environment had changed, and that's when I started this campaign to restore the vegetation and to restore the land and rehabilitate the forests. There is hesitation about the food, water, fodder for the animals. Then she started the campaign to restore the vegetation, land, and to rehabilitate the forests. What happened when you started working with the women? Wangari Maathai, well, the first time when I told them, let us plant trees, the women said they didn't know how to plant trees. So I asked the foresters to come and teach them, but they were very complicated. They are professionals. It became complicated for ordinary illiterate women, and so I told the women, we shall use our common sense and just do what we do with other seeds. Women work on the farms. They are the ones who plant. They are the ones who cultivate. They are the ones who produce food. So I told them that seeds of trees are like any other seeds. So if they were to treat these tree seeds the same way they treat other seeds of food crops, there is no difference. I told them to look for old broken pots even and put seeds there. They will germinate and they will know there are the seedlings from the seeds they planted, and we gave them plastic bags to be able to put those seedlings and to nurture them, and when they were about half a meter long, then they could go and transplant them on their farms. I asked her about the happening when she started working with the women. She replied that she asked the foresters to come and teach the women how to plant, but they could not. She asked the women to do what they do with other seeds: plant, cultivate, and produce food. She wanted to put the seeds in broken pots. After they germinate, she wanted to put the seedlings in the plastic bags. After they grow half a meter, she wanted to put them in their farms. Difficult, but they soon gained confidence and they became very competent foresters. So I call them foresters without diplomas. Gradually, they get the confidence and became competent foresters. So they were called foresters without diplomas. They didn't read anything. Why do you think they responded so well to your message? It was a need, Vangari Mathai. It was a need. When the women said they needed firewood and building material, we responded to that need. Plant trees, then you will have trees for firewood. In that tropics, trees go very fast. In 5 to 10 years, these trees serve as firewood, as building materials. Once we had planted those trees, we saw the need for them to understand why we have to have good governance. So it became important to give them civic education so that they could understand how we govern ourselves, the way we govern ourselves, why we are managing our environment, the way we are managing it. Because we were dealing with the environment, we gave them education both in civics and also in environment that made them understand clearly why they should take up the responsibility of protecting the environment, that it was the responsibility of the government or the. Why do you think they responded so well to your message, Vangari Mathai? It was a need. When the women said they needed firewood and building material, we responded to that need. Plant trees, then you will have trees for firewood. In the tropics, trees grow very fast. In 5 to 10 years, these trees serve as firewood, as building materials. Once we had planted those trees, we saw the need for them to understand why we have to have good governance. So it became important to give them civic education so that they could understand how we govern ourselves, why we govern ourselves, the way we govern ourselves, why we are managing our environment, the way we are managing it. Because they were dealing with the environment, we gave them education both in civics and also in environment that made them understand clearly why they should take up the responsibility of protecting their environment, that it was not the responsibility of the government or the responsibility of somebody else to come and rehabilitate their environment on their own land. It's them. It is their responsibility. Why do you think they responded to your message? Then she replied that it was the need for them for the firewood. So she wanted them to plant trees. In tropics, the trees grow very fast and so they can get firewood. For the knowledge of knowing about good governance, civic knowledge had been given to them, how to manage the environment, that made them understand about their responsibility towards environment. What transformations did you see, Vangari Mathai? One of the bigger transformations that I saw was that the ability of an ordinary illiterate woman to get to understand and to be able to plant trees that in 5 or 10 years became big trees, and she was able to cut them and be able to give herself energy to be able to sell those trees and give herself an income, to be able to feel confident that she had done something for herself. That sense of pride, sense of dignity, that they are not begging, that they are doing things for themselves was very empowering. That transformation was very powerful. Of the landscape, places where there was dust, there are no more dust. There are trees, even birds and rabbits. They come back and they make the environment very beautiful. There is a shade, and sometimes even dry springs come back because the water is not running, the water is going into the ground. Very profound transformation. And the other transformation that I saw was the willingness of the people to fight for their rights, to decide that they have a right to a good, clean environment, to decide that they will fight for their forest, they will protect their forest, they will not allow corrupt dealers to take their public land. About the transformations, she replied that they understand how to grow trees to sell them for income. They are not begging anyone. Next transformation is landscape. Where there was dust, there was no more dust now. There are trees, even birds and rabbits. They made the environment beautiful. Water is not running, it is going into the ground. This is all the transformation that I saw was the willingness of the people to fight for their rights, to decide that they have a right to a clean environment, to decide that they will fight for their forest, they will protect their forests, and they will not allow corrupt leaders to take their public land. Okay, it is the other transformation. How do you think you can influence the rest of Africa? Wangari Maathai, our efforts will inspire other people to stop wasting their resources and their youth in wars and instead engage in creating a peaceful environment, more peaceful states. I am very happy about the fact that now in Africa you see new efforts of ensuring that Africans engage in dialogue, that they invest in peaceful negotiations for conflicts, that we manage our environment. We must restore our environment and try to ensure that we do not fight, because we are allowing the environment, especially the land, to be degraded, and then we fight over agricultural land and grazing land. I see a lot of hope in what is happening in Somalia, what is happening in Sudan, what is happening in West Africa. I see a lot of African leaders encouraging each other to engage in dialogue. How could she influence the rest of Africa? She replied that the people are properly negotiating. How could she influence the rest of Africa? She replied that the people are properly negotiating something of importance. So there is hope, lot of hope in what is happening. All the leaders are encouraging one another to engage in dialogue. That is, they give importance to that. Wangari Maathai, what is the one thing we can do? Wangari Maathai, for me, my greatest activity is to plant a tree. I think that a tree is a wonderful symbol for the environment, and when we plant a tree, we plant hope. We plant the future for ourselves, for our children, for the birds. We plant something that will last long after we are gone. Is the one thing we can do. She replied that only thing we must do is planting a tree. When we plant a tree, we plant a hope. It will be last long, though we are not alive. Okay. Once again, listen to it and understand the lesson. Okay. Today is enough. Bye.